Jean, I think, so another year or two older than me.
Actually, I think everyone here is older than you, except you and me. Because we're in our 60s and everyone else is over 75. No, Pam's not.
I'm not.
Pam's not over 75. She's not even over 74.
I'm not even over 73.
No, you're not yet.
You're 60.
No, I'm
She's just
72.
72 in 10 months.
Yes.
That was good, Jared. That was good.
I keep chasing.
We really just turned 1,000 months old. We're so darling.
I keep chasing Marilla, but I'm not catching
A
her.
little rifle shot, just adorable.
Okay, Jared.
Okay, well, I went to Catholic school and.
Now you start off. My name is Jared Hamilton. No.
Come on, and I spent a lot of time irritated with parents. And I went to Catholic school, and I think, I don't know, it all kind of, it was who we were, it was my identity. And, don't recall not believing or believing or anything like that, but I had a lot of questions that I used to get in trouble asking. That I wasn't on topic or I didn't know what we were talking about or whatever, and I thought I did. So, and then we moved to Silver City and went to public school, and I was in a church youth group. And it was really a nice group, and I liked it, and we did all sorts of things, but I was waiting for the Jesus thing to click. I don't know, I didn't question, I didn't care. We were going to go to Mass every week whether I wanted to or not. We were Saturday night Catholics, which seemed awfully nice. It seemed like a nice way to live. Anyway, then after college, I was really kind of looking for something, and I moved in at St. Mary's with the Sisters of St. Joseph of Concordia, and really thought this is where I'm going to find faith. And I wanted to, I thought about being a nun, but I really had to find my faith first, because it seemed like they had very meaningful lives. Their lives were filled with meaning, and that's when I saw the beauty of a single life. Because instead of loving God through one person, they love God through all people. And there was a freedom to that, really. And I read the Vatican II papers, I read all sorts of documents that from the inside of the church that were interesting and historical, and I came to truly believe in the historical Jesus. His divinity was quite elusive to me. Maybe he was, and maybe he wasn't. I figured it wasn't important. I left the convent not really finding anything. And so for most of my adult life, I struggled to believe in God, but then I believed in God. And I believed in good and evil. I had seen good and evil. We've all seen good and evil, so that truly existed. I felt confident. But all of the details didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And I thought, I remember thinking, so God sends a part of himself down, and he's persecuted, and we wind up killing him, but that's okay. We're supposed to kill him so that he can rise from the dead and save our souls. And I just thought, who could buy that? Who could buy that story? And I really struggled with that. And it was difficult for me. And so that was my adult life. And then my whole life was Catholic. And Silver City is a huge Catholic population. I knew everyone in it. And then I moved to Chicago, and that's like Boston West. It was, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a bar or a Catholic church in Chicago. And, well, it's true. I don't swing a dead cat. And I had a lot of friends, in my 30s, there were a lot of friends in Chicago who had not married till their 30s and had young children. And to go out and do something on weekends or weeknights, because I was bored, a lot of the gay people I worked with became very dear friends of mine. And they wanted to go to church, so we started going to St. Patrick's downtown with beautiful masses. None of them were Catholic, but we just went. And the familiarity really made me feel good. And there's always a time after communion I always felt very peaceful. So I thought that's pretty much pretty good. You know, I was getting where I needed to be with my faith. I felt comfortable with it. And I didn't know anything outside of Catholicism, nor did I really care to. My grandmother always told us she converted to Catholicism. She said that Catholics are the intellectuals of the Christian world. That's why I joined. Our priest had the equivalent of a PhD in canonical law and philosophy. And of course, she had grown up going to churches in 1910 where the guy went to 6 weeks of Bible school and wasn't really that literate. And so, you know, to her mom, there was a huge difference, but I never lived in that world. Anyway, moved to Las Cruces and didn't know anybody there except Pam through politics, and then Morse. And after a couple weeks of nothing, I invited her and Morse over for dinner. And I knew they were Pentecostals. And, but that was okay, they were Republicans too, we had dinner. And I remember thinking afterwards, I never really thought, didn't understand my prejudice. I really felt like they were awfully intelligent and well read.
I had the same experience.
So anyway, and evidently there was no snake handling involved. And for this, I was much relieved. So
She said, before we left, she said, you know, I do believe you're my first Pentecostals.
friends, yes, you were my very first Pentecostal friends. And to tell you the truth, outside of maybe a few friends who were Methodist or something, I didn't really know anything but Catholicism. And almost everyone in my sphere, and in New Mexico and in Chicago, the only places I lived, El Paso, you have a big enough Catholic sphere, you don't really need to leave it.
Yeah.
Everyone's in it, it seems. So then as time went on, Morris and Pam talked to me more and more, and I met a lot of you. And I like the idea of a prayer group. I like the idea of praying. And my idea when I first came was that you're whatever, your energies and your prayers go out in the universe, and certainly someone, you know, there is a force of good out there, and you just pray where it hits it. It's like letting a string go, and you let your prayer go, and know that good will find it. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was pretty good, and I was very happy with that. And I mean, I didn't need more because I never had more, so it was fine. And I was just silent, and people mentioned at the first meetings because I had never heard anything like this. I'd never heard this language before. Half the time I didn't even know what you meant. And I mean, there's just all these things, let go, let God, and it's against, not against mankind, but principalities and powers. And I didn't know what any of it, you know, they all had these little sayings, and I thought they must get together and go to conventions and make this stuff up, because I really did not know what any of this was. Well, it wasn't my culture. There was nothing I had ever heard. So, oh God. So then I meet Gary Weaver, and of course Pam knows her, because Pam knows everybody.
Yeah.
And Pam's, and she wasn't even like a person removed. She was like half a person. She had met Gary. Oh yeah, Gary. Anyway, I met her at some fundraiser with Jenny Robinson, and we started talking, and I was really very interested. And she just started witnessing to me in a swimsuit at a swimming pool, and if it hadn't been for the sister Christians, I think I would have rather been put off. Put off. Oh. But as it was, I'd spent enough time with all you girls that I was kind of interested, and she was very interesting, and I called her for lunch, and she went. And I was at the point where I said, I can't see any more people. I don't want any more people in my life. I told Pam that. Many times I said, I'm done. I don't want to meet one more person. And then I met Gary, and I was really fascinated by her. There was something about her, fascinated. She was very interesting and very faithful. And the more we talked, I finally said, well, I'm not sure I believe exactly in Jesus. She said, what does exactly mean? So I kind of told her how my little loosey-goosey thing I had going on that sort of worked. I mean, I was a conservative. I was a good person. I had Christian moral values. I thought, living next door to a Christian, yay. I didn't have any problems with Christianity. This is how it seemed to